So look, 2020, I had a very, very difficult year. Obviously, it was interesting with, everything shutting down and whatnot. I was actually in Cape Town, and right at the beginning of the year, I had gone through a breakup, and then it was actually the best thing because I'd gone through a breakup, and then I was in Cape Town with me and my buddy Pete, and we were just stuck in a house, and all I did was work, meditate. I did a bunch of fasting, which is a very, very spiritual experience, doing fasts, 2-day fast, 3-day fasts, and it was great. I was living life. I was having a great time. I came back, and then in the summer of 2020, I fell into a very, very bad depressive episode, and then I also got a very bad it was an autoimmune condition, but a very intense version of it, psoriasis, where basically you just have like flaky scales all over your body, and it's just, and if you don't leave a tree for long enough, then it turns into psoriatic arthritis. So then that has many, many other issues. And, I was going to the most expensive doctors in the world in London, Harley Street, and they're like, yeah, you can't fix it, but take the steroid cream and it'll go away. And I'm like, I've never believed, I mean, from a young age, I haven't even taken painkillers. I've taken painkillers once in my life, and it was when I was playing football or soccer for some of your audience. And I was playing for my school, and I tore my hip flexor and dislocated my shoulder at the same time, but I still scored a goal. It was after I fell after scoring a goal. And I had a tournament the next day, 3 days later. So I took the highest strength painkillers. But apart from that, I've never taken painkillers in my entire life. No medication, anything. And yeah, when they told me, you've got this horrible, and also it's just a terrible thing because it's, I feel as though if you go through, there's some autoimmune conditions, which they're all terrible, but it's some where you go through and, I guess it's sort of like a personal thing because, let's say you've got, even IBS or something, which a lot of people have. Like that's kind of like your personal journey to go through. Not everyone needs to know about that. Whereas when you've got like scaly, flaky skin, and it's so visual, it's so there, and especially when you're uploading YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I started doing a bunch of research, as I always do on anything and everything, and I was like, okay, no, I can fix this. So for 6 to 7 weeks, I did a carnivore only diet. First 3 weeks, it was just beef, salt, water. And then I went, cut out alcohol, cut out caffeine. And after 8 weeks, I was fully, fully healed. Doctors were like, I've never seen anything like this before. And I went off. Like, that was one of the few times I got so angry at them. And I was like, honestly, shame on you. Shame on you for the fact that you've got people in here who are coming in here and looking at you as a beacon of knowledge and as a beacon of hope. And you're telling them you've got this thing that you can never, ever, ever, ever cure in your life. And you're shattering their entire future, their entire dreams and hopes by telling them, yeah, it's always going to be there, but you might be able to alleviate some of the side effects. So yeah, I went through that in summer of 2020. So between getting this, because that kind of throws you off when you've got something like that in your life, and at the time it was more of an inconvenience than anything because I spent 4 to 8 weeks basically just becoming an expert on skin health and gut microbiome, and I was already into detoxing and stuff like that, but then having to learn like gut microbiome, having to do crazy things. I was already doing fasting before then, but crazy things that I had one of my buddies who is one of my close friends who's a detox coach, and he's been through very, very difficult things in his life. He was a professional fighter, and then he went through horrible suicidal thoughts and depression for 3 years. And then basically it turned out that it was mercury poisoning. And this is why I always tell people, like, I've experienced depression, right? But I don't believe you can get depressed for no reason. I don't believe that people who say, oh, I suffer from depression and take their pills and then they think that's okay. I don't agree with that. I think you can say you're depressed if you have your health fully, fully in order. Most people that say they're depressed are overweight. Most people that are depressed, their sleep is messed up. Some people who are overweight, they have thyroid issues. And, some people say, oh, that's not my fault. Okay, it's not my fault. I got a autoimmune condition. Like, I didn't ask for it. It just happened. Your autoimmune system can be very finicky and it can be very funny and things can kind of sprout up at different times. I didn't ask for it. I could have listened to the doctors like I should have, like a good boy, listen to the doctors. Oh, I'm going to be stuck with this for the rest of my life. No, I did my own due diligence. I did my own research and I cleared it. And by the way, I came back after I ran the marathon because the next day my body was so messed up. It was my reward for running a marathon and raising, another $15,000 for the charity that we work with. My reward the next day was my autoimmune condition came back, and then I had to spend another 2 months. And that's how I really knew it was the carnivore diet that fixed it, because it came back, and then I spent another 2 months once again carnivore diet, and it went